Section 1. The Final Flight. December 29, 1972. Eastern Airlines Flight 401 departed New York City bound for Miami International Airport. On board were 163 passengers and a crew of 13. The Lockheed L-1011 TriStar was considered one of the most advanced passenger aircraft of its time. The flight itself was routine. The weather over Florida was calm. Visibility was clear. As the aircraft approached Miami shortly before midnight, the crew prepared for what should have been an ordinary landing. But as the landing gear was lowered, a small green indicator light failed to illuminate. The cockpit crew could not determine whether the nose landing gear had locked into position, or whether the light itself had simply malfunctioned. To avoid risking a dangerous landing, the captain instructed the aircraft to enter a holding pattern west of Miami while the crew investigated the problem. As their attention focused on the landing gear, something far more dangerous began unfolding unnoticed. Within minutes, Flight 401 slowly descended toward the darkness of the Florida Everglades. No one in the cockpit realized the aircraft was losing altitude. By the time anyone noticed, it was already too late. Section 2. The Crash. At approximately 11:42 p.m., Eastern Airlines Flight 401 descended silently toward the Florida Everglades. The crew remained focused on the landing gear problem. None of them realized the aircraft had disengaged from its assigned altitude. Seconds later, the Lockheed L-1011 struck the marshland at high speed. The impact tore the aircraft apart across the dark Everglades. Of the 176 people on board, 101 lost their lives. 75 survived, many suffering serious injuries. Rescue crews raced into the swamp through darkness, deep water, and thick vegetation. Helicopters, airboats, and emergency teams searched for survivors throughout the night. The official investigation concluded that the aircraft had been fully functional. The landing gear had, in fact, been properly extended. The small green indicator light had failed because of a burned-out bulb. A simple light had drawn the crew's attention away from the flight instruments. It was a tragic lesson in how a single distraction could lead to catastrophe. But for many, the story of Flight 401 did not end in the Everglades. Section 3. The Ghosts of Flight 401. In the months following the crash, stories began to circulate among Eastern Airlines employees. Flight attendants, pilots, and maintenance crews claimed they had encountered something they could not explain. Several employees reported seeing Captain Robert Loft or Flight Engineer Donald Repo inside other Eastern Airlines Lockheed L-1011 aircraft. Some witnesses claimed the apparitions appeared silently in empty seats. Others reported seeing one of the crew members standing in the galley or inside the cockpit. According to multiple accounts, the figures appeared calm, never threatening, only watching in several reports. The apparitions allegedly warned crews of technical problems before takeoff. After maintenance inspections, mechanical faults were reportedly discovered exactly where the warning had been given. The story spread quickly throughout Eastern Airlines. Many employees refused to discuss the incidents publicly, fearing ridicule or disciplinary action. The airline officially denied the claims. No physical evidence was ever produced. Yet the reports continued for years, transforming Flight 401 from a tragic aviation accident into one of the world's most enduring paranormal legends. Section 4. A Lingering Presence. More than 50 years have passed, yet the story of Flight 401 continues to fascinate investigators, historians, and paranormal researchers alike. Skeptics argue that the sightings can be explained by grief, stress, fatigue, and the power of suggestion. Others believe the reports are too numerous, too consistent, to dismiss entirely. No verified evidence has ever proven that the spirits of Captain Robert Loft or Flight Engineer Donald Repo appeared aboard other aircraft. And Eastern Airlines maintained its position that the stories were nothing more than rumor. But whether the sightings were psychological, paranormal, or simply the result of tragedy leaving a lasting mark, Flight 401 remains one of aviation's most enduring mysteries, a disaster remembered not only for the lives that were lost, but for the strange stories that refused to disappear. Perhaps some mysteries are never truly solved. Perhaps some journeys never really end. If you enjoyed this case file, consider subscribing to the Hollow Signal and leave a like. I appreciate you all and thank you for listening. Every week I investigate true mysteries, unexplained disappearances, paranormal encounters, and the stories that continue to haunt history. If there's a mystery you'd like me to investigate next, leave it in the comments below. Until the next signal, stay safe, stay curious.